In this video, we are going to talk about the basics of what polygons are in ZBrush. Polygons are basically those geometric flat blocks that make up the 3D surface of your model. And they are usually either quads, which has 4 sides, or triangles. So a polygon is basically made of points, as you can see when I hover on a vertex. Those polypoints connect edges that connect faces. Right now I'm using a brush called the ZModeler, which is a special brush designed to manipulate any subject related to polygons. For now, do not worry about the ZModeler brush because I'm going to make a video about it later. I just want to show you some basic important terms such as edge loop, which is a loop connected of edges, and also the term of polyloop, which is the same idea, it's just polygon faces connected in a loop. The way that the polygons are arranged on the surface of your model is called the topology, and your 3D model is a network of connected polygons called a polymesh. An edge flow refers to the direction and how edges are distributed on a model. In here I have created a single subtool which contains multiple polymesh. They are differentiated by colors, which is called polygroups. It is just a method to manage polygons or polymesh. If I hit Ctrl-Shift-Click to select a polygroup, I'm able to split or delete a polymesh within a subtool. Alright, why does Polygon matters? Here I have 3 polymesh with different topology placed side by side. The first one with quad polygons will be the best for sculpting. As you can see, the topology is well arranged compared to the second one. They are both usable, but you will have some trouble, especially dealing with details such as those corners with denser polygons. The third one is a decimated model, also made in all triangles. The edge flow and topology is not really useful, but the advantage of this type of topology is efficiency. If a part of a surface has wide and less detail, the polygons are larger, which makes them less dense. And the part where it has more details, such as those corners, as you can see, will have more triangles. This will be useful for 3D printing because we want an economical polymesh while still retaining details. In other words, it makes a polymesh lighter as to how many polygons you have on the surface, but it still keeps all the details, and of course it will be hard to sculpt with this type of surface. So why do we want to decimate a model for printing? It's because a polymesh with millions of polygons will occupy more memory than a more efficient version of the same model. If you slice a larger file for your printer, it will most of the time crash in the process or result in mistakes. Do not worry about printing because these will make sense later on the course as I will go through this topic. Alright, let me show you some basic commands when working with polygons. To select a polygon, we have to click on Ctrl-Shift and hold it at the same time. Our brush icon will turn into this dotted square. This indicates that we are in a selection brush. And what it selects is polygons. If you Ctrl, Shift and drag on your canvas, this will allow us to select the polygons within the green square. The rest of the surface is not deleted, but it is just hidden from view. This simply allows us to isolate certain area. If I rotate around, it turns some parts invisible because we are only seeing the front, and in order to view like the back, we have to click on my custom menu by hitting Ctrl V and click on the double-sided view, and this will allow us to have like both sides of the view. Now if I want to bring the visibility back, I have to click on Ctrl plus Shift and click on the canvas. It takes a while to get used to the command, and this is the reason why you should practice on a regular basis. With times it becomes a muscle memory and later you won't have to think about it. Now let's say I want to isolate a polygroup. Instead of drag select, this time we will be doing the same command, Ctrl Shift and hold, and click on one polygroup to isolate it. Now if I Ctrl Shift click on it again, it reverses the visibility. If I do this on this one, it hides it. So again, if I want to select a certain area to work on, simply have to hit Ctrl Shift and drag and select the parts that I want to work. To bring back the visibility, press Ctrl Shift and press on your canvas. If I want to isolate a polygroup, just press Ctrl Shift and select the group you want to isolate. If you want to bring back the visibility again, Ctrl Shift and click on the empty canvas. Another thing to understand about the selection brush, if you hold Ctrl Shift and press on the brush library while still holding the Ctrl and Shift, you will have a variation of the selection brush, such as the select lasso. Now let's do this again, Ctrl Shift, but this time we are using the lasso, so we are able to lasso and select the area we want to work with. Another thing, if I hit Ctrl Shift and click on an edge, it hides a complete poly loop, and if I click Ctrl Shift and drag on the empty canvas, it reverses it. So just a reminder, this is not a bug because it happens sometimes, and if somehow you have like a denser model and you see this type of thing happen, just click Shift on your keyboard and click on the empty canvas. And also this feature like only happen when you use the select lasso. It doesn't happen when you use the select react. So now another thing is when you do your selection like that, you can move the square around or your lasso selection by pressing and holding Shift at the same time. This will allow you to move into an area you want. If you do the same thing, Ctrl Shift on your keyboard, drag on your canvas, but this time if you press Alt, the square will turn red, and if you select a part of your mesh, some polygons, it will hide the selected polygons. Again, if you want to select, isolate an area, just like that, Ctrl Shift click on the empty space of the canvas to get back the visibility. If you Ctrl Shift hold the space bar, you can move and select certain part. If you hit Ctrl Shift plus Alt, it will hide. And also another thing, if you press Ctrl Shift and click on the edge of different polygroups, such as the pink one and the green one, and just click on the edge, it will select both polygroups. Let me do this on these two polygroups. As you can see, it only selects the green and the blue one. Let me switch back to the select lasso, and now if I select a vertices like this point, it will select all the polygons connected to it. And now if I want to deselect a polygon, I have to hit Ctrl Shift plus Alt and select an edge, just like that. And that's it for this video, and I hope it wasn't too complicated. Thank you guys for watching.